How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Quentin the Gun Guy. Today we're doing a holster review. The Southwest holsters, the Rattler. And test number one, we're starting off right away, and that's going to be concealment. So as you can see, I'm not printing at all. This is a appendix inside waistband rig. This holster has the firearm and the magazine pouch attached. So let's start. Okay guys, sorry about the wardrobe change. I just had to because it's winter and Joburg is absolutely freezing this time of year in July. So this is the Southwest holster Rattler. Rattler because it does this. It does rattle a bit, but it doesn't rattle when it's on your waistband. I know Southwest holsters, James from Southwest, he likes to stay with the snake names, but this is quite fitting to go with a Rattler with this. Before we begin, firearm is safe, not loaded, and also the magazine inside of the mag pouch is not loaded either. So no ammo in the vicinity, so this is going to be a safe test. So in this review, we'll be doing the 5 criteria that I've got for a holster before I carry it. I need to go through those 5 things to be happy with it, to carry it with peace of mind. And then we're going to do the advantages and the disadvantages of this specific holster, because you can't like everything. With this holster, it goes for 1,600 Rand, bought from Southwest Holsters, but I did get it at a better price. Pictures should be popping up here. I just coincidentally saw a story, so it was quite serendipitous that it was for a Glock 1917. I've got the 19 and I've got the Olight PR Mini 2. So not super scarce, but I was quite lucky to pick this up at a greatly reduced price. Number 1 is going to be retention. So retention means that the holster keeps the firearm where it should be, meaning inside it. I don't like too much retention on the holsters though, because it does slow down your draw. So what I like to do, the test I like to do, is if I turn the holster upside down, it keeps my firearm where it should be, and it keeps my mag where it should be in this case. So retention, that's a good one for me, but it still has a smooth drawing action and it doesn't impede a fast sub-second draw. Number 2 is going to be movement. I do a bit of a run around just to check to see if it's comfortable to do all sorts of things with the holster, and also testing the retention again, testing it to see if it does stay exactly where it should be. So let's check that out now. Number 3 is a closed trigger guard. So as you can see with Glocks, there is no hammer to control. So having a closed trigger guard is of absolute importance, and it's a non-negotiable when you buy a holster. Now number 4 is going to be a 1 second draw. Now can I get this from concealment out in 1 second? Let's check that out now. So as you can see, that was a very successful test. I'm hitting those 1 second, sub-second draws quite consistently. So I'm quite happy with that, and that's a very important aspect, getting your firearm out and ready to fight within that time frame. Anything longer than that, that's pushing your odds a little bit. And number 5 is a hard versus soft holster. This is Kydex, so this is going to be a hard holster. Especially for my Glock, I prefer a holster that's a bit harder. I do like my leather holsters, as you've seen in previous reviews, but I do like the leather holsters in my revolvers. Something that does control the hammer, but hard holster for Glocks, that's an absolute must. So that was a good pass of my 5 criteria. Now let's get into the more technical aspects and some advantages and disadvantages of this holster. Now, as stated earlier, this holster goes for 1,600 Rand. I've had this for very close to a month now, and I've actually quite enjoyed it. I've used this every day since. just to properly test it out. I do like an educated opinion, so I won't do a review before I know my product. Now let's go through basic construction first. This is a Cardex holster made from quite a solid Cardex, so it's not a flimsy type as you might get in the cheaper holsters. This is a 2-clip system. This is basically 2 holsters in one. This is a mag pouch on the one side and then the normal holster on the other side. So what's nice about this is basically moving independently because it's attached by this stretchy band here. That just makes it easier to cater for various body types. So what I've seen on social media, I think James and I have close to the same build. So if he made a holster for himself, then that's going to fit me perfectly. But the thing is that holsters aren't made for people of the same size. So the clever thing about this is this caters for various sized individuals. Everyone has different bodies, everyone carries slightly different on their appendix position. So this caters for various ways of that. So this basically having an adjustable holster that adjusts constantly to position and body type. These clips are very solid. This is super solid material. And then this claw here, which is actually super clever. What I like about these claws is that this pushes against your belt, causing your forearm to push into your body. So this grip of yours is going to sit flush against your body, meaning that it's not going to push out and then print on any shirt that you're wearing. So this makes it easier to conceal, especially if you may be going for something a bit larger like the Glock 17s or full-size pistols for that matter. So this claw is actually, it's quite a bonus. Now for the mag pouch parts, which actually needs mentioning all on its own. If you look there, I don't know if you can see it on camera, this is very detailed and this actually looks like the mag. So this is solid retention, and these clips actually go into your mag slots. So this is very solid. This I don't think you're ever going to lose, and it clips in like you expect the firearm to clip in. This is actually quite nice. Cool thing about this as well is that this actually doesn't feel so big. I'm going to compare it to the little cheap SciTech holster that I've got. Check that size difference. Now that's quite a massive difference, but it actually feels like only a firearm holster. You actually almost forget about this. I'm not sure why. Maybe because it's lighter, maybe because of the position or design. But this actually, you don't actually notice this. Interesting to note as well is that this is actually easier to conceal than this one, especially in the appendix position. Now I've got a small build. If you're carrying only a single firearm holster, this is going to be printing. So whatever you do, your firearm is always going to print. So you want minimal printing to be able to conceal it successfully. Now with this, it's going to push out your pants or your shirt only on one side, leaving a bit of a gap on the other side. So if you move it straight in the middle, which is uncountable, you might be printing less, but it's still going to be an issue, especially with your grip printing. With this though, is that you've got this whole area basically extending your belly just a little bit. So this just makes it easier, at least for my body type, to conceal, especially with tuck-in shirts. Adjustable retention everywhere as well. So James prides himself in the fact that all of his holsters with adjustable retention. That just caters for various guys in the shooting community. Some guys prefer a whole lot of retention just because they are scared to lose the firearm. Other guys prefer it to have very little retention. So even the mag pouch has adjustable retention. There's a screw there, and then the adjustable retention for the firearm is located at the claw. So there's 2 screws there that you can tighten or loosen. Now for the disadvantages. Now I'm really going to nitpick here because there aren't many to choose from. Number one is what everyone is thinking, is that the flexible join with the elastic cord that's going to be a failure point in future. I don't see it happening anytime soon. Now, I don't think it's a possibility that it's going to fail easily, but it's easy to fix though. So if this eventually frays or tears or anything in that regions, it is easy to fix. So it's not a difficult thing. You just weave it through and then make knots on the back. You don't even feel these knots because they tuck in just in the center of the holster where it bends when you put it on. Another disadvantage is clip's position. So clip's position meaning that if you put the clip on the thickest part of the firearm, it's going to print slightly more. Now if you move it just maybe towards the lower end of the firearm, then it's probably going to print less. Not that it's a huge problem with this, because it doesn't print much, but that just that might push up your printing a little bit more. So next up is claw position. I would have liked this claw to be located slightly lower. Let me show you what I mean. If I run a ruler through these clips here, now it's in line there, you've just got a little bit of the claw sticking out like that. But let me show you on the belt. So now I've got the holster in position where it should be. So as you can see, everything is nice and in line, and the claw is holding on where it should be. So let's do some movements. If I go down my haunches and up, if I bend over and up, what happens is that this claw ever so slightly climbs out. And that's the test complete, guys. So it passed my five criteria successfully. There's some very good advantages, some not so serious disadvantages. It's just I really had to nitpick with this. I do like the shape of this. This actually reminds me quite a lot of the American-made Tier 1 Axis holster, which is quite a compliment. What I like about the South African market at the moment is that there's really quality holsters made right here in South Africa. Now we don't need to import holsters from the US anymore. I know there's some guys that do, some guys that do prefer it, but there's no need. You don't need to import the Tier 1s or the Tier X arms holsters or the last line of defense holsters. We've got quality guys making gear right in South Africa, so support proudly South African. If you're looking for a holster, look at Southwest Holsters. Edge are making some really great quality holsters as well. Quantum Carry, Shinobi Cardex. These guys are experts in their field. I really hope you guys enjoyed this review of the Southwest Holster Rattler. If you did, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing. Cheers.